And now we have the second episode of our festive drama serial. Stoke up the fire, grown-ups. Sing along, children. Prepare for ghosts, kings, and winter magic in episode 2 of The Darkling Yule. The Darkling Yule by Vincent Hart. Episode 2.
The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. The rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. The holly bears a blossom as white as the lily flower, and ready bore sweet Jesus Christ to be our sweet
A singing and a shivering, my page. Everything frozen apart from the mouth. Beowulf looked up at the strange man who towered above him. The man was huge and powerful. He had bright green eyes and a cheerful smile that showed from the depths of a bushy red beard. On the man's head there was a crown of brown oak leaves and glossy acorns. Instinct told Beowulf that he was looking at a king.
Are you King Wenceslas?
That's a good enough name. Wenceslas was a good king, so your song says. I am a good king. On this occasion. You might just as well have called me Arthur, of course. I prefer to be called the Oak King. But many names have I, and many faces.
Please, sir, your majesty, I'm really terribly cold and rather frightened. I'm being, hunted, I suppose. There's a man in green.
In green, you say? It's what all the best kings are wearing. Sorry to say you've crossed the path of my brother. They say that we're twins. Twins? Well, I must admit there are some faint similarities in our faces. We are nothing alike in temperament, my page. My brother has grown fiercer and fiercer of late. These lands, you see, were once mine. Look now. His cold colours fly wherever the eye travels. My time and my power are at an end, my page. My reign is over, and I am a king in exile. This now is the domain of the Holly King.
Is there anything we can do, your majesty? Is there any way to stop him?
Our greatest warrior has always been time itself, my page. Time changes the season. One king falls, another rises. That is the natural way. On this night, though, time and nature seem to be sleeping, do they not? The mortals have vanished, and the things of magic are walking abroad. Most unusual. Some foolish magician has dreamed too deeply or wished too hard, and set magic loose upon the natural world. This is a dangerous time to wish for magic, my page. The world stands on the balance between light and dark, summer and winter. My brother is pushing his advantage. He will turn this world to endless ice unless he is stopped.
Can you stop him, your majesty? Is there anything I can do to help?
Why, there's a brave boy. My page would stand against the Holly King and all the wild hunt of winter. I am an old and powerless king in exile, my page. There is very little that I can do. I may be a king, but I'm truly a fool. You need those with wisdom and knowledge. Wisdom is better than gold, and knowledge is a great power. I do not know many that are wise, my boy, but perhaps I know a man that has the curse of knowledge. Will you walk with me? Will you follow my path? Though the way be dark and the night be cold and the snow be thick, my page, there is a poor man in need of warmth and comfort. If we bring him what he needs, he may share what he knows. What say you, my page? Shall we brave the snow? Beowulf shivered, more from fear than from cold. He did not understand how the world had been changed, or why he was at the centre of this strangeness. Although he was afraid, Beowulf was determined. He would do whatever he could to stop the Holly King and his eternal winter.
I will come with you, your majesty. I'll help you in any way I can.
There's a brave lad. I shall lead the way. I may not be a king of these lands, but there is still a little strength in me. Mark my footsteps good, my page. Tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage freeze thy blood less coldly.
It's the carol. It's just like the carol. The footprints feel warm.
The Oak King walked slowly and steadily, allowing Beowulf to follow his footprints. To Beowulf's amazed delight, the prints of the king's boots were glowing with a golden light. As Beowulf stepped into those bright patches of snow, his body and spirit were filled with a warmth and cheer that were reminiscent of midsummer. Beowulf's mind pictured the gardens in full bloom and the woods filled with golden sunlight that streamed through emerald leaves. Although the gardens were covered in thick snow and the icicles hung from the bare trees, Beowulf could see in the past when all had been lush and full of life. He wondered whether his visions might also show the future, when the gardens would live again. If only the Holly King might be stopped. That's the spirit, my page. Not far now. Walk on, walk on. You have surely covered a good league by now. We are almost at the forest fence. See, my page, we are already at the mountain.
He means the old rockery. I know father calls it the mountain, but that's really just a joke, a nickname.
And look here, St. Agnes Fountain. Beowulf stared at the ornamental fountain by the rockery. He had visited this end of the garden many times. He liked to climb the huge rocks and paddle in the fountain, though the gardeners would clip his ear if he stood on any plants. In the summer, this place was a playground to Beowulf, but now it was transformed into a beautiful but dangerous wonderland. The rocks were thick with snow, making the name mountain much more apt. The fountain had frozen over as it flowed, creating a weird sculpture of ice that rose up, twinkling in the moonlight. Up ahead, just a little further along the icy path, there was the summer house that Beowulf's family had always called the Folly.
The Folly, your majesty. Is this the house of the poor man? Is this where you're bringing your pine logs and food and wine?
Folly. Indeed, indeed. Most apt, my page. A house for fools like us that would be walking in winter. Go on, my page, do your duty. Knock at this humble door and announce the arrival of a king.
Feeling nervous and foolish, Beowulf trudged to the door of the stone summer house. There was no light from within and no signs of life. It seemed absurd to be knocking at the door. Hello? Is there anyone at home? I must announce the arrival of the Oak King. There was no sound from within the summer house. Beowulf rubbed his cold hands together and was about to knock again. Oh!
What would one of the kings want with a poor man like me?
I say, aren't you old Adam? I mean...
Aye, that's what they call me around these parts.
But you're real. I mean, you're like me. You're not a king or a unicorn or something magical. You're just...
a tramp? A wanderer? A beggar? A tinker? A man that sleeps in barns and works the fields when there's work to be done? Aye. I'm a poor man and I live by whatever means I can. And in weather like this I take shelter where I find it. Are you going to throw me out in the snow, young master? Have you come to expel a trespasser from your domain? Is that it?
Oh no, not at all. I'm here with, well, he's called the Oak King. I'm not sure. It's all this magic.
Magic? Wishes and dreams and magic aren't worth a good fire and a good meal, lad.
The king has brought you logs and food and wine. He said you might know something that might help.
I know lots of things. I know too much.
Please, sir, may we come in out of the cold? We've walked a long way.
These are your lands, young master. You may enter. If you'll let a poor man lodge in this house of folly, I'll gladly shelter you in return. Then a merry company we shall make, old Adam. I have brought you many gifts. The Oak King put a huge bag onto the stone floor of the summer house. The bag opened of its own accord, laying itself out like a picnic mat. Logs leapt from the bag and into the small hearth, where a fire sprang into life. Plates covered in roasted meat arranged themselves neatly, while goblets filled with dark red wine. Soon the chilly stone interior of the summer house was filled with the smell of pine logs burning. I don't normally take to magic, your majesty, but gifts freely given are welcome. You've brought me food and fire. For that you have my thanks. I have little to give, my friend, but what I have is yours. My time and my powers are, I think, truly at an end. I shall, with your leave, lie down by this merry fire and dream of the summer. I am full weary after my journey. Take care, my page. Listen to our host, for he knows many things. Beowulf watched as the king slowly lay down. The man had seemed gigantic and full of life, but now he was old and tired. His red beard was streaked with white, as though snow had crept into his spirit. The crown on the king's head was brown and shriveled, the power draining from it as Beowulf watched.
Your Majesty, is there anything I can do?
Leave him be, lad. He's used the last of his strength to give us this feast and this fire. His time is done. There's nothing more he can do but die and dream.
Your Majesty, I don't want you to die. How can we stop your brother?
Leave him be, lad. He needs to die. To die, to sleep, eh? It's all one and the same. You concentrate on the living. Where there's life, there's hope, eh? Beowulf stared in horror as the Oak King shriveled and shrank in his cloak. Soon there was nothing but a skeleton, some rags, and a pile of oak leaves by the fire. With tears in his eyes, Beowulf turned to see old Adam, already sat on a rug, and drinking heartily from a goblet.
How can you be so heartless?
The king used the last of his magic to give us this feast. It'll be more heartless to waste it. Sit down, lad, gather your strength. Eat, drink, and be merry for a while. You'll be back out there in the cold again soon enough. Beowulf found that he was overcome with cold, weariness, and hunger. He sank down to the floor and turned his back on the bones of the Oak King. Heeding Adam's words, he began to eat. The food was simple, but after his adventures it tasted delicious. Although he was a little nervous to be drinking wine, Beowulf discovered that the drink in the goblets was as warming as the Oak King's footprints had been. There we are, lad. You look stronger already. Don't fret for the old Oak King. He'll be back in the summer, if there is another summer.
Please, sir, I really don't understand any of this. My parents are gone. Everyone else is gone. Why are you still here? You're not one of these magical things. I've seen you sleeping in the park in the summer and working the fields at harvest. And in the pub when you can afford it.
Perhaps I'm like you, eh? We walk in dreams whether we want to or not. Old Adam, they call me. Old Mad Adam from time to time. Madmen and dreamers, that's us, lad. When the magic gets out, it's folks like you that have to put it back.
But what can I do? That man, the Holly King, he has a whole gang of hunters with him. What does he want? How can I stop him? I'm just a boy.
The Holly King rules the winter. It's his time. The natural way is for him to rise in the winter, fall in the summer. That's the wheel of the seasons. This year is different. This is the Darkling Yule. He's not just the Holly King this time. There's something else about him. Some other spirit. The stories get all tangled up, lad. One ghost gets wrapped up in another. Tales get lost in the telling.
I'm sorry, sir. I really don't follow.
I'm not wise enough to help, lad. I know things, but I don't have the wisdom to understand them. I know that the Holly King is not just the Holly King. He's something else as well, some other old ghost. He's lost something. He's searching.
An old ghost? I think I saw a ghost. There was a woman in the attic.
Aye, there's ghosts abroad. Ghosts and stories. The Holly King is one name, but he's got others.
He's some other lord of these parts, a lord with a lost love. That's all I know. I know you're trying to help, but I can't make sense of any of what you're telling me. I'm just an old mad tramp, lad. I'm not much help to anyone. I ate an apple once and now I know things. I can't say that knowing things has helped me much. You need wise men. Do you know where I might find some? Ha! You're the magician. Conjure some up. Me? A magician? I'm just a boy. I can't conjure anything. No? I thought you had a book of spells. I thought you sang to the night and conjured up the Oak King to help you in your time of need. Still, what do I know? I have a book of carols. And I sang to keep warm. You need different kings, lad. Wise men. That's all I know. Beowulf felt a fluttering in his chest, as though his spirit were a small bird, trapped in the cage of his body. Perhaps the old tramp was right. The Book of Carols had conjured up the Oak King. Perhaps it might conjure up the wise men that Beowulf needed. With trembling fingers, he reached into his satchel and brought out the book. It was glowing with the golden light of firesides and candle flames. He opened the book and began to sing the carol that his soul knew was needed.
We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Riders! Horses! Have they found me? Magic is dangerous stuff, lad. That's what I know. Very dangerous indeed.
The Darkling Yule was written by Vincent Hart, the part of Ivy was played by Sam Anderson, Beowulf's Carol was sung by Heaviside, additional editing by Adam Lloyd, all of the vocal work and direction by Patrick Heaviside. The Darkling Yule is a This, That and the Other production. Find us online at ttato.co.uk.